Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the High Level Playbook. And today's episode, I want to talk about messy action as your strategy to achievement. So, if you're new to this is High Level Playbook, where I will share with you leadership and mindset skills in 20 minutes or less. This is a boost of vitamin for you to have throughout the day as you navigate challenges as you're pursuing your dream, your career, or your business. Okay, so let's dive right into it. So the reason why you're stuck isn't because that you don't know what to do. It's because you're waiting to feel ready. A lot of people out there, they're perfectionists. I was certainly one of them. But did you guys know when someone is being perfection, everything has to be perfect, it's really coming from a place of fear. So today, in this episode, you're going to break the illusion of getting ready. I gotta get ready. I'm not ready yet. And we're gonna show you the messy action, the real advantage of messy action. So, I wanna share my TED Talk journey with you guys. I am booked to be a TED speaker in May. I'm very excited about that. But before that, I hired a coach. And my expectation was the coach was supposed to help me get perfect and ready for a TED Talk. His job is to get me on a TED Talk stage. He was a past organizer, so he knew what they were looking for. And I thought, okay, we had what seems like a perfect pitch. I certainly couldn't relate to it because I couldn't pitch it eloquently, but we made it in a way where the TED organizers were looking for it. Everything I followed to a T. And I was pitching and pitching and pitching, and I was getting no results, no responses, rejections only. And then I stopped. I go, wait, something is wrong. Because I realized the talk that I formed really wasn't mine. It's my coach telling me what to say so I could get into the door. It wasn't in harmony with me, and it wasn't in alignment with me. So what did I do? I stopped for a while. I stopped, I put everything on hold, and I said, you know what, let me work on my craft, right? For me, that's when I realized for me to become a TED speaker, I got to be good at what I do. I got to be confident in my speech. So I took some time off. I started to develop my own framework, my speech, through my clients, my work, my research. And I came out with Break the Lotus Box. So when I started to apply again, this time I did something completely new. I took everything my last coach gave me, I put it aside. I just said, you know what, I'm going to start to pitch. So I went on this journey. Clarity started to come as I started to take the action. Confidence started to come as I started to submit more application. So I'm saying this because clarity comes when you're taking action, messy action. And when I start to take this messy action, I start to get response, okay? Now, what are the responses? I like your speech. You made it into the semifinals. And when I actually got my interview, I asked them, why did you pick me? They said, because I resonate with your framework. That's when my confidence started to come. So I'm sharing this as an example is because I try to do things the perfect way. I tried. I spent a lot of money on it. But my clarity and my confidence and everything started to happen when I started taking messy action. Because remember, when I was doing my own framework this time, when I was pitching my own topic, my own signature talk, I didn't have a coach to tell me, do this, do that, don't say this, don't say that. When that was happening, I felt like I was trying to be so perfect, I lost who I was. And looking back now, I was coming from a place of fear. And once I started to pitch something that I truly believe, I could talk about it inside and out. I could talk about it all day long. I put years of experience and time in there that I could vouch for it. That's when everything started to change. So when we take messy action, it's not being irresponsible. It's moving you forward, okay? All right. So messy action is taking action before you feel ready, clear, and confident. That's very important. One thing Elon Musk is really good at is he's really good at failing forward. And what does that mean? He moves so fast. He takes such big messy action. Before anyone is starting to move, he's already made 5 mistakes because he knows where you're heading. And here's the key. When you have a direction, start to take action towards there. Because one thing I learned and I've seen over and over again is having a strategy is fantastic because it gives you clarity. But most likely, wherever you're arriving is not going to happen how you plan. You are going to make mistakes. And that's when that messy action comes into play. And that really helped my mind a lot with my mindset shift. When I'm taking messy action, I'm moving forward because nothing's ever going to be perfect. If you look at this word perfect, everyone's perception of perfect is also very different, right? So why do people avoid it? Very simple. The first thing is fear. Fear of being seen imperfectly. Fear of being judged. That's how I was. I feel like before I could go out to lunch, before I could go out to, service my service, I had to be perfect. And when the first thing I learned about messy action, I signed my first client before I had a website, before I could be able to take credit card. By onboarding my first client, it was very messy. You know what I learned along the way? And after working with so many people and companies, everything is going to be messy. So instead of trying to make it perfect, embrace it. It's a process. Okay, so another high achiever conditioning. You were rewarded for being right and not for experimenting. So this could be pretty toxic because we learn from our mistakes. Actually, that is the greatest lesson. Everyone, a founder, an entrepreneur, anyone in a CEO position, they understand it. But in corporate culture, most of the corporate culture is you are not allowed to make mistakes because you will get fired. And that is a real fear, especially in today's economy. But that being said, right, there's more to that. When you have a direction, when you're able to lead and take action, take the data from what you learn and reapply it. Take the data of what you have learned and apply it. What does that mean? What worked? What didn't work? What did work? Double down on that. That's going to be the most important thing, right? How do you steer the ship around? Because you know where you're heading to. I like to use this example that I always use. I'm in Los Angeles. If I was going to go to New York, I have a direction. How I get there may be different. I might think I'm going to fly there, and then because of the TSAs that's going on, I can't get on a flight. I can't get on the right time. I might decide to take a train and then take a bus and then rent a car and then drive there. But I arrive to my destination. Yeah, it is messy. I'm probably have to figure out on the fly, but at least I am taking action moving forward. And lastly, most of us in our belief system and in our identity, we are framed in an invisible box, okay? And that box is shaped by expectation, culture, pressure to perform, and fear of failure. And that is awareness to have. Ask yourself, why am I not moving forward? What is the fear coming from? And once you can identify it, you have the awareness, that's where you can move forward. So you're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because your identity won't let you do it imperfectly. That's how I was shaped. I grew up in Asia. And in Asia, everything is about having good grades. If you don't have good grades, you're a bad student. You are labeled as bad. And that's how I was labeled. I was told by my 5th grade teacher that my best job should be a janitor because I did not have good grades in school. Right? And that was my identity for a very long time until I had the awareness and I was able to remove it. So today, when I make a decision, I take action immediately because when I take action, I'm moving forward. I'm creating momentum. Yes, I may not have it all figured out, but when I take it, clarity comes. Clarity comes because you have data. You understand what works. You understand what doesn't work. You start to learn about yourself. And that's how things happen. That's how you create momentum. Okay, and a lot of people, they're afraid to take action because it's embarrassing. I get it. You make a mistake. How is your family, your friends, your coworkers? How are they going to look at you? Are they going to put you down? This is where I invite you guys. I'm going to give you guys the tool right now is to create a courage list. Yes. Every embarrassed moments that you had, mistakes that you had, write it down. Rejection letters, screenshot it, and celebrate it. That is a courage list because you had proved to yourself that you have taken an action forward. The worst thing to do is stay at the same spot and think and overthink and overthink and overthink. That's not going to get you anywhere. But the more action that you take, the more knowledge that you are going to gain. And that's how you build confidence. So create a courage test, a courage list. Every single action that you take, it's a test. You're building your courage. You are building yourself up. And remember, if you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you. Whether it's your job, your team, your business, your life, your spouse, your relationships, maybe it could be, let me focus my camera. Maybe it could be that person that you really admire, you want to be with. Have the courage to go ask that person out, right? This is your life. Messy action is a bridge between who you are and who you say you want to become. So if you're watching this and if this resonates with you and you know someone could use this episode, I would so appreciate it if you share it with a friend, like and subscribe, because I have more content that's coming out to help you. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and send me a message and I will create content around that. So until next time, this is Lily and Victoria, the host from High Level Playbook, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.